The dangerous Jack has a yelling match with a defiant Phyllis, while Tucker sleeps with Jack's wife. Spoiler. On today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Audra tries to woo Noah, Diane opens up about her feelings for Jack, and Billy and Adam get into an argument. While visiting the Abbott residence, Diane changes her mind and tells Jack that she would love to stay in one of his guest rooms. She sobs, "I am just so tired. These past few months have really seemed like an adventure. Every time she succeeds, another mountain is placed in her path." Jack admires her and believes she's made enormous progress. He thinks she has handled her numerous difficulties with dignity. For once, Diane is willing to give credit where credit is due. Jack has been watching out for her. Her emotions finally overwhelm her. "I really can't tell you how much it means to be not to be alone anymore." Jack is carrying her. He receives a text message and informs Diane that he has some difficult business to attend to. "Say that with me now, I'll be right back." When he abruptly leaves, Diane is shocked and wonders, what happened? When Audra visits Tucker in his apartment, he informs her that Jeremy Stark has arrived in Geno City. He's convinced he wants to make Diane squirm. Audra assumes he wants to get even, but she can't help but think, what about you? Is it a good idea to put on a bulletproof vest in case Stark comes seeking for you? Tucker shrugs, saying he has never even spoken to the man, so he has nothing to be afraid of. Audra thought for sure that they must have run into each other. Tucker says they have mutual friends and that's how he found out about Diane. His friend finally opened up to Audra, who inquired as to how he managed to accomplish this feat. According to Tucker, everyone costs something. He told Ashley about it in the hopes that she, Nikki, and Phyllis could use it to entice Stark to come to town. A puzzled Audra demands an explanation. What are you going to do? He enters Noah's club and is greeted by Adam, who thinks to himself, nephew. I know we haven't talked in a long. He reassures him that there would be no recurrence of sibling rivalry between him and his dad. I just ran into him earlier, and I know he has better things to do. That's fine, Noah says. After agreeing to dispatch a server, he leaves. The majority of Americans worry that climate change will make relocation necessary. Following their meal at Crimson Lights, Lily asks Daniel, "This is your post-dinner surprise, right?" He anticipated that she would purchase a sweet treat there. She puts in her order for a red velvet cupcake and a coffee. Daniel is taken aback to learn that she must return to work immediately. When Billy comes in, they are having a good time arguing about whether or not to share their cupcakes. He approaches and Daniel invites him to come along. Lily reasons must be very busy. After a while, Sharon shows up, overjoyed to see Daniel. They embrace and then proceed to the counter. Instead of working late, Billy wonders if Lily is spending time with Daniel. She probes him on his sexuality. He admits he gave Chelsea some movies and food to make her feel better. While he'd want to get dessert together, she's decided to go back to Daniel. She should expect to see Billy at her house sometime soon. He wants to chat about their conversation with Chelsea. He suspects she thinks Chelsea relies on him too much, but he doubts she used those words directly to someone in Chelsea's emotional state. Lily said she was quite cautious when dealing with Chelsea. Lily is told by Billy that Chelsea threw it away because she feels like a burden now. Lily regrets that she was interpreted in that way. That was not her purpose. Billy is eager to have a conversation about it when she returns home. Lily advises him not to wait up for her because she can't predict how late she'll be. When Billy leaves, he walks out. Sharon orders food for Daniel and instructs him to take a seat while she brings out his food. He sits down next to Lily and poses the question, truth or dare? She chooses truth. Daniel asks if their sudden supper is causing problems with Lily. No, she reassures him. It's all good here. From the Abbott residence, Jack must email work-related data to a colleague. I won't be gone for long, he promises. Diane is concerned about the eerie silence at home. Jack assures her that the high-tech security system is active and will alert them if Jeremy comes knocking. He tells her to take it easy and sleep it off. Diane can't believe that Phyllis, Ashley, and Nikki did that. Jack reassures her that they'll deal with it when the time comes. Audra enters Noah's nightclub and approaches him. After their ordeal, Noah explains, I was just wondering how you were and when I would see you again. Is that when she overheard you saying, Allie, I lost your baby, and then asked, you mean the other day when I walked in here? As for Noah, he replies, yeah. He feels terrible about what happened and can't quit beating himself up about it, but at least he knows the truth now. Noah is confused about what he is expected to do next. Is there anything he can do to help her heal or go on? Upon hearing this, Audra remarked, you, Noah. If you're reading this, you're wanted. In private, Noah tells Audra that he's sorry their relationship ended the way it did, but that they can't talk about it. It's happening, Audra assures him. When asked if that's possible, Noah says, no, it can't. I'm seeing someone right now. The happy times Audra and him shared before everything went bad haunt her every time she closes her eyes. We were fire. After being asked what happened, Noah just says, we got burned. Audra maintains that their love is eternal. There was total anarchy, according to him. According to Audra, love is anarchy. We haven't had enough of each other yet, not even close. Any time I look into your eyes, I am reminded of this. Whenever the two of us share the same space, she leans in and kisses him passionately, stroking his chest. As time goes on, Noah begins to withdraw and declare, no, I don't see that happening. When Billy enters Noah's club, he sees Adam and comments that today is not his day. Adam comments on how lonely he is and speculates that maybe Lily ditched him because he had to listen to the Billy and Chelsea show 24/7. In Jack's office at Jabot, we find Phyllis. He worries if she's behind on work since she's been so busy making trouble. Phyllis claims that Diane constantly yells at her, screams accusations at her, and gets in her face while they are both at society. Seriously, she exemplified the very definition of understated beauty. Jack agrees with Phyllis that her reaction was perfectly reasonable, but she mocks him for supporting her once again, and Jack says to Phyllis, it's certainly not you, when she asks who the victim is. Inquiringly, he presses her to reveal whether or not she contacted Jeremy Stark. Can I get a yes or a no? Phyllis gives me her phone. Jack understands that she is adept at leaving no traces. In order to answer his inquiry, she must give him her undivided attention. Did you give Jeremy Stark the address of where he could locate Diane? Is it a yes or a no? Phyllis mocks Jack's interrogation room of an office and accuses Diane of turning Jack and Summer against her. Absolutely, without a doubt, she is correct in her assessment of Diane. Jack tells her that Stark knocked on his door, but she already knows that. Phyllis questions how she would know and urges him to quit making accusations against her. Did you give him my address? Asks Jack. Phyllis points out to Abbott that as a criminal, Stark is perfectly capable of discovering the whereabouts of Diane on his own. When Jack tells Diane that he stopped by to remark on her status as a grandma, he means it literally. He involved Harrison. Phyllis, shocked by the revelation, demands to know if he actually threatened her. Even if Jack is smoother than that, whomever brought him there should be held accountable. As far as Phyllis is concerned, it's Diane Jenkins. Because of that, he's present. Phyllis can't believe Diane is getting off the hook while she's being portrayed as the bad guy again. Scot-free. Phyllis, who is clearly fed up with their ongoing debate, finally loses her cool and yells, Jack, just add up. If Diane hadn't come along and disrupted their lives all those years ago, she never would have met Jeremy Stark in Los Angeles, and she never would have left Geno City when Phyllis urged her to, so that he wouldn't be here today. Jack yells at her to stop. Phyllis yells an emphatic no. I refuse to give up. A frustrated Jack exclaims, I am done with this. I've had it. Diane is sitting on the sofa in the Abbott home when she is startled by a sound. She gets the shakes and wanders around, staring anxiously out the window. Daniel returns to Crimson Lights to find free cupcakes waiting for him and his daughter Lily. Lily says to Daniel, I'm more productive at night when it's quieter, and then she goes away. Even if Daniel is a fellow night owl, the risks increase after dark. He freely confesses that he has lofty goals for the future, and that he often works until he is completely exhausted. Lily wants to know what crazy thought he had at 4 a.m. to celebrate an event or make an announcement. Daniel mentions a business where you may hire a group of people to act as your personal cheering section. Festivities that are sure to be remembered. They chuckle at his bizarre proposal and agree that it is not cost-effective but entertaining. Billy tells Adam at Noah's club that he's hanging out with Chelsea since he's her friend and cares about her. Connor, who is being bullied, is also a worry of his. Adam tells him the issue was brought up in the household and resolved after some discussion. Adam assures him that Chelsea will always have support from friends and family. In his mind, Billy has to know if Adam agrees that he should just give up on Chelsea. Given that she gave birth to Adam's baby, he has some idea of what she may be looking for. Billy claims she is also his son's biological mother. Adam asks, "What's your point?" In spite of Billy's assertions to the contrary, he believes there is some sort of connection between them, and while he hopes Chelsea can trust Adam, he also recognizes that there are limits to that confidence. Adam regrets his past behavior against Chelsea, but he is willing to help her in any way he can now. While he will be forever indebted to Billy for his assistance, he now feels it is time for Billy to withdraw significantly. No way is Billy going to act like that. Sorry, but I just can't. In another area of the club, Audra tells Noah that she knows he's with Allie, but he felt that kiss just now. She knows he did. Noah said he was simply in the zone. They didn't have any issues with chemistry. The reasons they broke up will never be able to be changed. No future exists for us, Noah says to Audra. Please believe me when I say that. Message received, Audra snarls. Billy reassures Adam that he will be there for Chelsea for as long as she requires him, and that Chelsea will detest him to high heaven if he tries to control who she spends time with. He must accept it if she decides to confide in him rather than Adam. Adam will not tolerate being excluded. Billy cautions him to examine his own character and determine his own potential. Not being able to relate to others emotionally makes him untrustworthy. To Billy, Adam bellows, "And you're the rational human who's going to offer wisdom to who? To me? You should give me a call after you finish school, or when someone disabuses you of your inflated sense of self-importance. I will not sit here and take insults from you or anybody else. If you want someone to judge or insult, go find a mirror." Adam then walks out the door while Noah watches. Jack reveals to Phyllis at Jabba that the only reason she has a job there is because he approved of it. Boy, does he ever regret giving Summer and Kyle the go-ahead. Her sole purpose in being there is to sabotage Dan. Phyllis says that she had missed working with her daughter, and that he is aware of this. Jack goes on a tirade about how she has the capacity to show Diane any sympathy. "You're kidding me?" Phyllis exclaims. "It's not my fault, right?" Nothing is ever her fault, according to Jack. He has let her exploit her position at Marchetti for her own nefarious ends while he has done nothing for months. He had been quiet out of deference to Summer and Kyle, but now he's all no more. Done with that. You've overstepped your bounds. In a stern voice, Jack says a word of warning. The Marchetti brand was founded by Jabut, which owns a majority stake in the company. "Hello, my name is Jabut. If I find out you contacted Stark, and our kids or grandkid or Diane are hurt in any way, I will throw you and that idiotic grin out of this building faster than you can say, 'I'm sorry.'" Jack grabs his coat from the closet and storms out the door. As Adam enters Crimson Lights, Daniel helps Lily put on her coat. The fact that Billy is sitting alone in the glitzy club is lost on him, but he finds it intriguing that the two of them are together. Lily is starting to wonder if he doesn't have anything better to do than irritate them. Adam thinks it's weird that Billy and Chelsea are inseparable now and that it must bother Lily. Adam is the one with the issue in Lily's opinion. Maybe she's pleased she no longer has to deal with Billy's antics and addictions, Adam muses. Lily informs him she doesn't want to participate in this game. Good night. Together with Daniel, she leaves. Noah checks in with Billy at the club to see how things are going. Billy has spent better evenings and is now complaining about Adam's presence. To paraphrase, "I think your uncle is reverting back to his dark prince ways, and I think it's best we all keep an eye on him." As Audra is checking in at the Grand Phoenix, she decides to knock on a guest room's door. Tucker, wearing only a robe, welcomes his visitors inside. Noah's situation not working out, he inquires. She thinks to herself, "Doesn't matter at the time, does it?" Tucker rejects her advances and confesses that he had not expected her there because he had assumed that his evening was over. She takes off her jacket to expose her undergarments and asks, "Is that a complaint?" As they kiss and collapse onto the bed, he mutters, "Far from it." Jack trudges groggily inside his house. He walks over to where a sleeping Diane is lunging on the couch and gently wakes her. She is easily startled and says she is on edge tonight. Diane stayed up to make sure he got home safely and to inquire about events at Jabut. Jack insists that everything was perfect. He reassures her once more that she is in no danger and that they would take all necessary measures to keep her safe. Jack reaches out and hugs Diane. She tells him, "You have no idea how much that means to me." She kisses his chest and thanks him.